Hi, welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about Nona the Ninth by Tamsyn Muir. Nona the Ninth is the third book in the Locked Tomb series. Nona came along as a surprise when it was announced last year, an unexpected interlude and addition to the series that was originally announced as a trilogy. And Nona just burst onto the page, and I was so delighted that we really got this full novel with Nona and the full story that we get here in Nona the Ninth. It is a step back from the swordsmanship and necromancy of Gideon the Ninth and Harrow the Ninth, books 1 and 2 of the series, but all the better for it because we get to have a much deeper sense of the world of the Nine Houses and of the greater universe in which they operate. And we have the wonderfully charming and joyous narrator in Nona as our lens through which we see the world and see some familiar faces in a whole new light. Just, Nona she's so wonderful and new, and seeing the world with open and excited eyes, and always easy and willing to love and be loved and to seek joy in ways that our previous narrators are maybe a little more reticent about. And so we get not only this wonderful push forward into the final volume coming next year, but also some time to breathe and to explore in real depth the overarching themes of the series. And in true Locked Tomb fashion, it is a confusing read at times. You find yourself at about, 2/3 of the way through, thinking, all right, how are things going to really click? And for me, they really clicked. So, very excited about this newest addition to the Locked Tomb series. And let me tell you, when it comes time for the final volume, I will be getting an early copy, or I will double die or die where you can't come back trying, to borrow a line from Nona here. So, of course, for all of our Locked Tomb titles, we've got to be making a drink. And without any further ado, why don't we turn to this week's drink? Finally, for the Locked Tomb, we have a joke as the name of our drink. Today's mocktail is the School Aide, and it is going to be a delightful little shaken mocktail inspired by Nona the Ninth. So, why don't we get started with that whole milk powder. The planet that we find ourselves on in Nona the Ninth is under siege and experiencing rationing. So, as with other volumes in the Locked Tomb series, we've got some deprivation of food going on, and some question about sustenance and preservation of food. So we're going to get a bar spoon of our whole milk powder in here. Next, to bring a bit of heat, since we've already got our spoon out, going to get just a bar spoon of that hot chili tincture. And while this is made with alcohol, it's really not adding any sort of alcohol to our drink, really negligible amounts. So spicy bitters if you've got them, hot chili tincture if you don't. This particular ingredient is inspired by Hot Sauce, who is the leader of the gang at the school where Nona works as a teacher's aide. As you can see, School Aide, teacher's aide, leader of the gang, Hot Sauce. We're having some real good fun with the Locked Tomb and that sort of effervescence in humor that Muir brings to the text. So next, we're going to get our base spirit. This is a green tea that I've brewed here. Lots of green, sort of refreshing things, even as we find there. Preserved, we're going to get first 1.5 ounces, and then full to 2¼ ounces of that green tea into your shaker. As always, when you're brewing a tea to use in cocktails or mocktails, you do want to brew it extra strong so that it can hold its own next to the other ingredients. Then, again, for preserved foods, I have a fresh batch of lime cordial. It's the syrup that we make here with the citrus peels and sugar and fresh juice. It brings a greater depth of flavor. It preserves that flavor. You get the sort of oiliness and richness of the citrus zest in there as well. A little sweet, a little tart, a little bright, and I think really suitable to the locked tomb with our preservation of food and flavors, and with the sort of desire for me, the comfort in green amid rationing and depredation and very hard times. So we're going to get 3/4 ounce of the lime cordial in there. Light, bright, very exciting. With that whole milk powder, we always like to stir a little bit before we add our ice, just to help it dissolve. And of course, that's bringing not only a bit of that sense of preservation, but also going to bring a nice sort of richness and a mellowing effect to some of our brighter ingredients. Now we'll get our ice in there, hopefully. It is a wonderfully joyous book, but as you might expect, no idyll lasts forever. And so we do see the end of that time of peace as we come into the end of the novel, really to kick things into action for the grand roller coaster of the finale that we'll be seeing in Alecto the Ninth next year. Oh, man. It's a great book. There we go. Give that a stout tap to open back up. And we are going to double strain our mocktail, our School Aide, into our cocktail glass here. Nona might like a gritty cocktail. She's been known to enjoy eating gravel, but we do not. So always double strain just to get any last bit of grit out as well. And we'll get that little left from our small tin. Wonderful. Set that aside. And to complete our drink, we've got a garnish here. We've got the Pure Luxury Luxardo cherries. There's a wonderful sequence in the start of the book where the schoolyard gang is enjoying fruit, and particularly stone fruit and melon. But it isn't stone fruit season here. Cherries have pits. I don't think that Nona, being a bit reticent about food to begin with, will mind all that much. And so we'll just drop our Pure Luxury Luxardo cherry into our glass, and we are all set. So there you have it. This is the School Aide, a mocktail inspired by Nona the Ninth by Tamsyn Muir. The first 3 books of the Locked Tomb series are available now. Got a link to Snag Nona in the description below. Got a link also to the Boston Shaker, where we get all of our tools and ingredients, the tongs for the cherries, the strainers, got it all. to Twitter and Instagram, where there's always a written version of today's recipe. Please try the drink. Let me know what you think. I want to hear your thoughts about Nona because it's a long wait until next year when we're getting a Lecto. And I have just lots of little spoilery thoughts and theories that I would love to be chatting about with all of y'all down in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends what we're doing here. Try the drink. Let me know what you think. And until next time, cheers.